Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Light Speakers, a novel by Tammy Hedge. The book is now available on Amazon.com. You can buy it in paperback, you can buy it on Kindle. Chapter 3, The Elders. Monica was quickly ushered into the Sibyl's hut. He was still carrying Cora in his arms. I don't know what happened. I turned around and she just seemed to appear from nowhere, and then she collapsed, he said. Quickly, shouted a Sibyl. We need dill, oak powder, thyme, and rue. And sage, shouted another. They mixed them all together and applied it to Cora's forehead on a face cloth. The priests chanted mantras of protecting and healing. Monica paced anxiously back and forth beside the bed. Gradually, Cora began to come around. The most ancient Sibyl stared at the pendant on her neck, and she looked at the high priest. He nodded in a silent understanding. Place guards around the building and disperse fighters throughout the forest, shouted the master. When Cora was completely back to herself, they dismissed everyone from the hut except themselves and the two young lovers. Orders were given that no one was allowed back inside. Monica was beside himself with worry, and Cora was drained and confused. The elders motioned for them to be quiet and sat down closely in front of them. They seemed to be talking to each other without speaking, and although he tried, Monica could not hear their thoughts. Cora, began the Ancient One, take your time and carefully tell us all that you remember. Cora slowly began to explain everything that she saw and felt. What do you mean you weren't there? How could she not be there? Interrupted Monica, glancing back and forth between Cora and the elders. Dark magic, said the ancient Sibyl. How did you get back, my child? Cora continued her story without interruption. Monica's gaze darted back and forth between Cora and trying to read any reaction from the elders. They looked concerned, but stoic. He still couldn't hear what they were thinking. Is there an inscription on this pendant? Asked the Ancient One. Cora looked closely. She looked at it for the first time in the light. It was wrought in gold and with a blood-red stone on a sturdy chain. On the back, ever so faint, was one word. It says, heart, replied Cora. The Sibyl looked at the high priest, and he nodded back. Now, Monica, began the master, would you take out what you showed me earlier today? Monica reached inside his cloak and removed the sword. He laid it on the ground between them. Please tell Cora and the Sibyl what you told me in the temple. Monica relayed the strange tale of his experience at the pond. The master looked at the Ancient One, and she nodded in agreement. Malhagunda, they said in unison. You said that before, said Monica. What does that mean? It means danger, said the master. It means that the warrior queen has died, and you both have been chosen to take her place. Since time began, there has been a struggle between the power of light and the power of darkness, said the Ancient One. Each side has had a leader and warriors. The last warrior for the light was Malhagunda. This is her pendant of heart, and that is her sword of truth. Since you both are in possession of them now, that could only mean that Malhagunda is gone, continued the master, and you have been chosen to carry on the fight. What are we fighting? How do we fight it? Asked Monica. Dark placed one being in our world to be its supreme creation, a darkness to rule over all the beings of shadow. Its purpose is to lead the others in wiping out the light. This is what you fight, said the master. The light gives beings in our world as light speakers. It has endowed you with the gifts and weapons to use in the fight against the darkness. You must fight with these, and with truth and love, said the Ancient One. Why us? Asked Cora. Because the universe has declared it so, replied the master. In the old days, the darkness was strong, and its army was large. We trained our gifted young ones for the fight. It was not enough. The darkness slaughtered them all. On the final day of battle, a light speaker managed to weaken the darkness immensely. It lashed out one last time and killed her and the others. There was only one survivor, Malhagunda. She carried on the fight and kept it from becoming powerful again. Now she is gone and has chosen you to continue on, said the Ancient One. There is nothing more we can tell you, my children. We only each met Malhagunda once in our lifetime. I know she used the forest magic for protection, but she only came to me once when she was in need. And she came to the temple only once to give thanks for that healing, said the master. She worked in secret and was always on guard against the darkness. We simply do not know anymore. So what do we do now? Asked Monaco. It is clear that the darkness is now aware of your existence. The best thing is to head to the city, said the master. It'll be easy to get lost among so many people. The darkness will have a harder time tracking you there. Search there for knowledge about the gifts she left you, suggested the Ancient One. There's a large library there that contains thousands of books. Surely somewhere is the information you need. Monaco grasped Cora's hand tightly. Trust no one, for you do not know who is working for the darkness, said the master. Monaco, your gift will help you now, for you can hear their secrets without them being spoken. Use this to your advantage. A tear fell down Cora's cheek. Cora, you will need to use all your skills in speaking to nature. You will need to rely on the knowledge we have taught you. This is also to your advantage, added the Ancient One. Most of all, know that you have each other. You must trust each other. You are not alone. Sleep here tonight, said the master as the elders stood up. We will keep guard. Traveling by night is more dangerous, and you both need a good sleep. And with that, the elders left the hut. Monaco and Cora were alone for the first time all day. They looked at each other in silence, each trying to digest what they had just heard. Cora spoke first. We should make a list of what we'll need while we're on the road. We can send someone to pack for us. You're right, replied Monaco, but there's something else we need to do first. And with that, he took her in his arms and kissed her. I was afraid I was going to lose you. I don't know if I could survive that, he said. I'm still here, and it seems you're stuck with me now. Seriously, Cora, this thing they want us to do, we could die, he said. I'm scared too, my love, but we don't seem to have a choice in the matter. We found the gifts. I don't think we can just put them back and pretend it didn't happen. This darkness thing already came for you, and for all we know, it tried to drown me. I cannot lose you. You are the only person that matters to me. Cora cupped his face with her hand. Then we'll make sure that we find it before it finds us again. How on Katha are we supposed to find it? And what do we do to it when we found it? Maybe the library will have information on that also. If it has thousands of books, like the Ancient One said, surely there must be some information on it. Monica began to pace back and forth. I hope you're right. I don't know what else we can do. Now we can pack, she said. We will need to travel light, so only the essentials for now. I will send the Sibyls to pack a medicinal bag for us. And food, he added. There must be enough food out there to choke a troll. They could not have eaten it all. We should have a map and some water. We can forage for the rest, she said. One change of clothes. We will have to make do, he added. Cora wrote everything down and handed it to a guard outside. They will gather everything and leave it in the doorway for us so we can sleep, she said upon her return. I don't know if I'll be able to sleep at all, said Monica. Lay here anyway and keep me warm, said Cora. It's been such a long day, and I'm still a little bit woozy. Monica grabbed a second blanket and curled up next to Cora, cradling her head on his arm. He didn't realize how exhausted he was, too, and soon they were both asleep. This has been Chapter 3 of The Light Speakers by Tammy Hedge, available on Amazon.com. I hope that you are enjoying the series as I'm presenting it to you. I'm going to do quite a number of chapters to kind of get you into the book, but then I'm hoping that you will purchase the novel. It's my very first novel. It's good for ages 12 and up, all the way to adulthood. And thanks for listening.